we're still waiting to hear. You know, it's been a couple weeks since the Olympic trials, and we're all still left wondering, what is next for Jordan Burroughs? And I know what he said in the past. I know he said, 2024 Olympics or Olympic trials, that's it, I'm done. But it feels like we still have to hear him say it. We have to hear him say it after the fact. You can say it in the lead up in the years prior, but in the months and year leading up to, I mean, really since Final X, we have heard hardly anything from Jordan Burroughs. And then in the lead up to the trials, the most media accessible, I mean, Chael Sonnen came on the show and said this is the most accessible guy in the sports history. And yet the last year, I would say it's not necessarily been the case. We haven't heard much from Jordan. We've seen his ads and we've seen, you know, things like that and various social media posts, but nothing that's really cuts to the heart of what is Jordan Burroughs thinking right now in the lead up to the trials. What is Jordan Burroughs thinking right now after the trials? And you look at what happened at the 2024 Olympic trials and, you know, the customary thing and something he even talked about, when your shoes come off, you do that at the Olympic trials or the Olympic Games. That's where you do that. And he didn't hesitate when he left. When he lost to Jason Nolf, there wasn't a moment of pondering that we observed, right? When we saw that at Final X in 2023. He loses to Chance Marstell in the craziest best of three we've ever seen, and he's in the middle of the mat. He's messing with his tape, messing with his laces, just kind of taking time, extended period of time. You're like, is he about to do this? And he didn't. But then he goes back and he says, I thought about it. But thankfully he did not. And so he goes to the Olympic trials and he has, you know, a drama-filled performance, right? Not necessarily that he created the drama in so much as the things surrounding him and created some drama. He has the Mitchell Messenbrink fiasco where he wins and he's booed and he shoves and Mitchell's pushing the line, all that. We're not going to relitigate that. And then we've got the Jason Nolf match where it's 1-1 and he gets, you know, Nolf gets the big double right off the start of the second period, and then he hangs on for that win, and Nolf does. And that ends Jordan Burroughs' run and attempt to become an Olympian for the third time. And so you're thinking, and then immediately you're not looking at Nolf when he loses. You're watching Burroughs. What's he going to do? Is it going to happen right now? And it was just as though he had lost overseas at the Mateo Pelicone, or like every other loss you see from an international wrestler. Goes, shake hands, straps down, walks off. And of course, as he's walking off, he gets harassed by the fan. And the last words I heard Jordan Burroughs say was him, you know, responding to that fan saying, what have you done? And now I'm asking, what are you going to do, Jordan? Are you going to continue? And the less we hear and the longer it goes where we don't hear from Jordan, the more and more we're left to wonder and think, maybe he's not done. Maybe when he said 2024 is it, maybe 2024 is it. But is he thinking 2024 non-Olympic Worlds? Is that the little caveat? Is that the extra scenario that we didn't think about or consider that he's going to pursue? Because there is a non-Olympic Worlds this year. It goes down, I believe, in October. And there's going to be a trials process sometime in the summer. And that'll be at 79 kilograms. And that's a weight where we've seen Jordan Burroughs win multiple world titles. And though the last time we saw him try to make a world team, he lost to Chance Marsteller, I feel like the path for him to make a team is going to be smoother. And I feel like getting to watch Jordan go out at a weight class like 79 just feels more fitting. Because what UWW did when they changed the weigh-in rules, which I think are good rules, they moved it from a day before weigh-in to 2 hours before weigh-in. And if you've heard me talk about this for years, 74 kilograms became a different weight class when that happened. When they moved that from day before to 2 hours, that effectively bumped Jordan Burroughs up a weight class. But he remained. But his performances waned a bit there. They weren't quite the same. He was still elite, still really, really good. But taking that much pop out of him and that little recovery time, that was a difference maker for him. And you saw it at the 2021 Olympic trials, and I think you saw it at the 2024 Olympic trials. Now, you could say it's age, but I don't know. Because I saw him in 2023 at Final X in the lead up before that. I thought he looked good, and he had energy, and he had the offense, and everything that we've known Jordan Burroughs to be. And then against Jason Nolf, it just didn't seem like he had that same extra offense and gear, and the things that make Jordan Burroughs spectacular, I think, were removed from him when he's just not that weight anymore. So now he could go up to 79. And I think, I've heard Chance Marsteller is not going to come back down to 79. He's going to make 86 kilograms his permanent home. So that's one less competitor. Now, Jordan Burroughs may not like that fact. He would probably love the opportunity to avenge losses. If Jordan Burroughs is indeed continuing to compete, which I'm left to only guess and wonder because we have not heard from Jordan. We don't know. We tried to, USA, and we've tried to reach out to him and say, hey, can we get a work? Can we get, just some kind of interview after the trials? Nothing. The most accessible guy in the world in wrestling history doesn't have anything to say. Is that because he doesn't want to talk, or is it because he doesn't know? And I think if you don't know, maybe you don't say. And that's we're left to do nothing but draw conclusions because there's nothing else to draw right now. Because the shoes stayed on and he walked away. So now I'm always going to look for the reasons for Jordan Burroughs to keep wrestling. Because he's given me some of the most incredible memories in the sport of any wrestling. He's been my favorite guy to watch since 2011, even before, when he was doing it collegiately. So now it doesn't take much for me to get my mind spun up and thinking about how he's going to keep continuing, because I'm not ready to turn the page on his competitive career. I want to keep watching this, right? That's selfish. That's me. That's a fan. That's someone who just loves watching him wrestle. And it feels like it'd be a little more fitting for him to go out at 79 kilograms. And one thing that the sport does that is, it's interesting, and I understand why it happens. I understand why this is that every 4 years is when a career stops, seemingly, for most wrestlers, right? It's very rare you see someone take off their shoes before the Olympics, right? They always see it through the quad. But for Jordan, it's like, man, go out in the non-Olympic worlds. Go out in 2025. Go out when you want. You don't have to go to 28. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for you to go down to 74 anymore because you're not that size. And you're probably not full size 86. So why not do a round or two at 79 and then go? And go out swinging. Don't go out hungry, right? Go out competing and wrestling and seeing what you have. Because Jordan's got a lot of life and a lot of things he can do on the other side of competition, right? Like whatever he wants to do, he can do it. But the pause we're seeing from Jordan and his communication leads me to only wonder, guess, and presume he's not done. And he's going to keep wrestling. These are guesses because I'm left to only guess. But I would love to see it. I think it would be great. Non-Olympic Worlds, it just makes sense. He can make another team. He can add to his already unmatched resume in American wrestling of 7 World and Olympic titles. He can get to 8. That would be fantastic. And I think, and selfishly for Team USA, he might be our best option, right? Very well could be. Chances up, and even if chances down, Jordan may still be the best option. He's a multiple world champion at this weight class. Maybe Jason Nolf is moving up, but Jason Nolf is doing jiu-jitsu fights now. So is he focused on making world teams, or is he going to turn the page on his wrestling career and start going more the Bo Nickel, MMA, jiu-jitsu, kind of trying to build that skill set and enter a different phase of his competitive career? Obviously, Jason Nolf could continue to be a very viable competitor at 79 kilograms if he wanted to, but maybe he doesn't want to. And this jiu-jitsu fight that he's taking next week in Houston says maybe that's the way he is thinking, and I'm drawing the right conclusion there. Carter Starachi, would he come down to 79 kilograms after going up to 86? After saying, hey, I can't make 74, 86 is my long-term weight. He's been dealing with health issues with his knee. Does he maybe say, hey, I'm going to take the summer off and gear up for my last year of NCAA wrestling? And so right now we're looking like, well, if Jordan's out and Nolf's out and Starachi's out there and Chance is up, well, who's going to be 79? I think the obvious answer is Jordan Burroughs. And I hope that's the case. I hope to see him wrestle again. I personally wasn't ready to say goodbye to his wrestling career. I think fans around the world, even in Penn State deep down, you guys know you want to watch him wrestle again, right? But what do you think? What's Jordan Burroughs thinking right now? What's he about to do? Is he going to continue wrestling? Is he going to go off in another direction entirely? I don't know, but until we hear from Jordan, we're left to do nothing but guess.